Believe it or not, there's one piece of gear in your voiceover studio that can determine whether your auditions and jobs succeed or fail. And it doesn't even plug in. And that gadget is the pop filter. Yeah, that black mesh thing sitting between you and your microphone. And if you're not using yours correctly, casting directors will skip right past your auditions. You see, the first thing a potential client listens to when you submit an audition is your recording quality, not your exceptional interpretive skills or your melodious voice, because they believe the finished job will have the same audio quality as your audition. So do clients really notice? The short answer is yes. Even if they don't know exactly why, they know your audition doesn't sound professional. So your audition has to be broadcast quality. And if Morgan Freeman turned in a low-quality audition, he probably wouldn't get the job. Well, okay, he would get the job. I mean, he's Morgan Freeman. But you won't. And one of the worst culprits that show up in low-quality recording is popped Ps. Okay, I know I might be losing you right now, but stick with me. This is important. You probably have a pop filter installed on your mic right now, but let's make sure it's the right type, that it's installed correctly, and most importantly, let's make sure that it's keeping those annoying pop Ps out of your auditions and jobs. We're going to dive into what a pop filter actually does, what it's made of, where it should be placed, and how it might affect the sound of your voice. So here's the big question. Why does everyone in voiceover need a pop filter? It comes down to plosives. Plosives. Plosives are those strong bursts of air that shoot out of your mouth when you say the letters P and B and sometimes T and D. Now, in normal conversation, they're not a big deal. But when you're 3 or 4 inches from a microphone, that puff of air becomes a tiny hurricane, smashing right into the mic's diaphragm. When that air hits the mic capsule, you get an ugly, distracting thump or low-frequency boom. You know, that it sounds like you just dropped the mic moment in your audio. A pop filter diffuses that burst of air so it doesn't hit the microphone. You hope nothing goes wrong, but when it does, you're glad you have it. Pop filters usually come in 2 basic flavors. First, there's the nylon mesh filter. These are the classic pop filters, a ring with a stretchy double layer of nylon fabric. They're great because they're inexpensive, and they diffuse the air pretty effectively. Then there's the metal mesh filters. These use perforated sheets of metal shaped in a way that redirects the air downward or sideways. They're more durable and transparent in tone. Do they sound different from each other? Nylon tends to block some high-frequency audio, and stronger plosives can sometimes sneak through a soft cloth filter because it acts like a drum and passes that low sound through. Metal filters tend to let more high-frequency detail through, and since they direct the air away from the mic, there's little chance of it hitting the microphone. But here's the key. They both work, and for voiceover, either one is fine. So how far should a pop filter be from the microphone? All right, here's where a lot of folks get it wrong. Your pop filter should usually be about 2 to 3 inches away from the microphone, not touching the mic or sitting a foot away, just a couple of inches of space. This is because the pop filter needs enough distance from the capsule to actually diffuse that air. If it's right on top of the mic, the air will still hit the diaphragm. If it's way too far away, it has no effect whatsoever. Okay then, how far should you be from the pop filter? In most voiceover work, commercials, narration, audiobooks, explainers, you want to be about 4 to 6 inches from the pop filter, meaning your total distance from the mic ends up around 6 to 9 inches, depending on your mic and your voice. This is the sweet spot, where your plosives are controlled, your voice sounds conversational, and minimal mouth noise will be picked up. Your pop filter, in a funny way, is like your microphone's personal bubble. Respect it, and your audio will thank you. So does a pop filter really change the sound? The answer is yes, but in a subtle way. A pop filter will reduce a tiny amount of high-frequency sparkle. But the trade-off is you get audio without plosive pops. And honestly, a good engineer would rather brighten your voice a bit than try to fix distorted plosives. Metal filters affect the high end even less. So if you're recording something where brightness matters, like whispering or ASMR, the metal filter can be the best choice. Singers often prefer different distances and sometimes different pop filters because singing creates way more air pressure, way more dynamic range, and way more force behind plosives. A singer might be 6 to 12 inches from the mic and use a heavy-duty metal filter or 2 cloth filters stacked together. Voiceover talent, on the other hand, usually works closer to the mic and a lower volume. We're all about clarity, intimacy, and nuance, not belting out a song. So if you're announcing, narrating, or doing commercial reads, you almost never need anything unusual. The standard nylon or metal pop filter will be just fine. The only time voiceover actors might need a singer-style setup is if you're doing crazy character voices that involve shouting and yelling, or big dynamic peaks. For this, increase your distance from the mic. Here's the bottom line. A pop filter is one of the simplest, cheapest, and most effective tools in your entire audio chain. It protects your audio quality and can save you from needless editing headaches. So if you don't have one, get one. It's a small investment that makes a significant difference. Set yours up correctly. Make sure it's 2 to 3 inches from the mic. Set yourself 3 to 6 inches back from the filter. Then test it. Record test copy with a lot of P's. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Then listen back with headphones and make sure you don't hear any of those dreaded thumps. Do this and your audio will sound clean and professional, and more job-worthy. If you're interested in voiceovers, take my free voiceover lesson. I give a quick overview of the voiceover business, and then you perform a voiceover commercial with my notes on how to make your interpretation really stand out. And you can upload an MP3 of your read to receive my personal evaluation. The link is in the description. And for information on my live and online voiceover classes, one-on-one live coaching, and demo production, and all things voiceover, go to alisocreek.net. If this video was helpful, hit that like button. That'll help others find it. Then subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. I'm William Williams reminding you. Keep talking.